Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this special bulletin. Nintendo Direct was today, early in the wee hours this morning, specifically for the Switch 2, and while watching it, I have to admit, got me rather excited. To me, it was one win after another, got me thoroughly excited on what to look forward to, and, well, honestly, just full disclosure, I have every intention of picking the Switch 2 up. I do not own a Switch, so I look forward to picking it up. That's my choice. But, well, a few things came out after the Direct, mainly pricing, and boy, oh boy, the internet has been in a bit of a, how do I put this? A kerfuffle. We'll go with that. But first, we're going to start with, well, something I saw online. It's like, wow, this did not age very well, and I kind of have to admit I agree with it. Back in February 5th, 2025, don't worry, Nintendo's thinking, for half a second, about affordability with Switch 2 pricing. Really? They thought about it and then flushed that idea down the toilet? But of course, what is Nintendo's idea of affordability? Because, well, there's a few people that are kind of disagreeing with that $450 US price tag. But let's keep going. The main thing that people are talking about is this idea that all the Switch 2 games are going to be $90 for physical, $80 for digital, except that is, provably false because they released the price of two of the games. First one, the flagship game, $80 MSRP for the digital, right? Available June 5th, Mario Kart World. What I saw of this game, it looks big, it's massive, fantastic. It's going to be a game, whether you like to admit this or not, the people who pick this game up are going to put hundreds, if not thousands, of hours into this game. Value pricing. Everyone has to make that own decision for themselves. There are some people who are not going to be able or don't see a positive value proposition with a $70, $80, and $90 price tag. And I get it. I understand. I'm not going to argue about that. But when you think about what they're bundling this game with, the regular price for the Switch 2 is $450. But ladies and gentlemen, and I think this is a much better case for why they put this price tag on there. For only an extra $50, you can get the Switch 2 bundled with Mario Kart World. Just imagine, you'll be saving that $40. That's going to be a digital version. So you're going to save that $30, right? Do I believe that Nintendo priced Mario Kart World up to $80 and $90 to make this little nugget more enticing? Well, really wouldn't put it past them. But this idea that all the Switch 2 games are going to be $80, $90, I firmly believe, we are jumping the gun on this one because, well, they released the price of Donkey Kong Bonanza, and it's not $80, it's $70, which is the standard price nowadays for, at least unfortunately moving forward, for modern day video games. If they're worth the shit, that is. Now, again, are all the games going to be priced this? That's $70, $80, $90? We don't know. Flying off the rails, I do believe, is a little too early. This is a massive wait and see. As they release more prices for some of the games, I will be more than happy to eat crow if they're all priced at $80 and $90 because, well, I'm a gamer. I don't worship a box. I don't worship the PC, a console, a handheld. I like playing video games. I have a PC that I can play video games on. Got a PS5 Pro. I got an Xbox Series S. And I will have a Switch 2 because I like to play video games. I like having all my options available. And I understand that not everyone has that ability. And that's fine. You have to make your choices. So I'm not going to criticize Nintendo because I don't like Nintendo, but if they jack up their prices on all of their games to $80 and $90, they will deserve every ounce of backlash that they get because that's a bit ridiculous. Players are getting a little wary, especially with the idea, the thoughts that, well, Grand Theft Auto is going to be $100. And while that might be the one game coming out in the next few years that would deserve that price tag based on the amount of hours you're going to put into it, you've got to remember that. The number of hours you will put into it If you end up playing the game for 5 hours, then the price per hour value isn't there. But with something like, and I'm not defending or justifying, I'm explaining my train of thought. Okay? Couldn't care less where these games come from, whether it's Sony, Microsoft, From Software, Rockstar, CD Projekt Red. I do not worship a studio. I do not worship a box. I play games. If you think you're going to, if you are a fan of the Mario Kart franchise, then more than likely you know a few people that are as well, and you're going to play this for hundreds of hours. So maybe think about it that way. It's going to be a shock, of course, but if you're going to get a Switch 2, why would you buy this separately? And again, like I said, I do believe it wouldn't put it past Nintendo for pricing it at $80 and $90 just to make this a lot more appealing. You save that money. The one thing I am wondering about, this is another thing, the game key card. Another issue that players are having, potential customers or lost customers at this point are wondering about this game key card. It's technically a physical game card, but it's not, because you put it into your Switch and it has to download the game. Now, one defense, or one, let's not use the word defense, the explanation, because as gamers, even when you get physical copies of games, there's always that day one patch, or they always have to download all kinds of extra stuff. So are we really buying physical copies anymore? It's unfortunate. I don't agree with it, but it's not something that bothers me personally. But I do understand being upset about it. But trying to advertise physical copy for a game when all you're doing, as can be seen right here, insert the game into the system. You have to download the game. One explanation that was given is that the game is too large to fit on the cartridge, which, don't we have micro SD memory cards that can hold up to 1 terabyte? Obviously, I'm not sure how the inner workings of these systems and how they would work with video games, considering 1 terabyte, the SD cards or micro SD cards are simply data switching from one to another. How would that work with a video game? I don't know. Y'all explain to my moronic ass in the comment section. But if you're advertising for a physical game, then sell the physical game. This is nothing more than tricking, bamboozling maybe, borderline, something that's going to upset a lot of customers, potential customers, because the disc doesn't have enough space, which, again, doesn't quite make sense in my little addled brain, but, again, explain. So all you got to do, you're going to buy that lovely little disc that doesn't have a game on it, but it's the license, I guess, the inbuilt DRM, if you will, that's going to download the game. And yay, once you download the game, you get to play it. Woohoo. Just like almost any other disc you would have to put into a game for the day one patch, the week one patch. So my question, how is this different? The game key card system. How is that any different to what the nonsense that we're dealing with right now with unfinished games? Let's complain about that. Let's argue about that. I think that's a better argument, better hill to die on. The one thing, before I wrap this up, the one thing that I want to know, that really has me curious, is this right here. Nintendo Switch 2 editions for Nintendo Switch games. You have to pay for the upgrade pack if you want to benefit from the bells and whistles from the Nintendo Switch 2. There's some people out there that probably won't even bother with this, but what will be the price point? Because you've already purchased the game. How much more do you need to pay to benefit from the upgrade from 720p to 1080p or the 4K on your TV after it's in the dock? What will be the price point? This, I'm sure, is going to be interesting to wait and see. Definitely, as usual, it's a wait and see. And to find out what games will benefit from them. Other than the pricing, I have to admit, I love just about everything that I saw on the Switch 2 Direct. One game after another, they're bringing Cyberpunk 2077 to the Switch. They're bringing Elden Ring and a new From Software game exclusive to the Switch 2, which a lot of people are kind of, do you think that will be a a handheld, a console seller? We'll have to wait and see. Right now, it's a lot of wait and see. I personally do not think all the games will be repriced at $80 and $90. I think that's a risk that maybe Nintendo's not willing to take, and I could be wrong. We'll have to wait and see who's going to be eating crow. Been there, done that, and I'll be here to make a video about it whenever it happens, one way or another. But let me know what you think in the comments section. What do you think about the pricing of the game? Singular. Everyone's saying games, plural. They've shown off one. Price point for one. And depending on when you watch this video, if they've showcased more, post it in the comments section down below. Let's see how right or how wrong I really am. But anyway, thank you for making it this far. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Leave a like, leave a dislike, do all those nifty little things that YouTube is begging you to do. And I hope to see you on the next one.